Hello, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Today, we're about to talk about one of the most intriguing coins you may not have paid much attention to before, the United States of America 1986 quarter dollar. But what if I told you that this quarter, which might look like just another coin from the 1980s, could actually be worth a fortune? If you're into coin collecting or even just a casual collector, this is definitely a video you won't want to miss. Trust me, the 1986 quarter dollar D has more to it than you might imagine. By the end of this video, you'll know just how to spot a rare and valuable 1986 quarter that could be worth a stunning sum of money. Yes, you heard me right, the United States quarter dollar, issued by the U.S. Mint, has always been a staple in American currency. Over the years, the design of the quarter has seen several changes, but the 1986 quarter dollar stands out for reasons that many might not know. Minted in the year 1986, the quarter features the well-known design of George Washington, the first president of the United States, on the obverse side, and a majestic eagle on the reverse. But there's more to this coin than just its designs, and you might find it surprising how much value this simple coin can hold, especially if it has the right features or errors that collectors dream of. Let's take a moment to understand why the 1986 quarter dollar is so special, especially for those who are new to coin collecting. The D in 1986 quarter dollar stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the key facilities where the U.S. Mint produces coins. Coins from the Denver Mint carry the D Mint mark, which is what makes this particular coin stand out. The vast majority of 1986 quarters were produced at the Denver Mint, but the true value lies in a select few coins that possess certain rare characteristics, those hidden features that make some 1986 quarters stand apart from the rest. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1986 quarter dollar different from others in terms of rarity. Let's dive into it. To the untrained eye, a regular 1986 quarter might seem like just another coin, but if you're a serious collector or have a keen eye for detail, you'll want to look closer. Some quarters from the 1986 vintage exhibit errors or special traits that significantly increase their value. One of the key factors that drive up the value of the 1986 quarter is the possibility of a minting error. Minting errors are common occurrences that happen during the coin production process, but for collectors, they're like hidden treasures. These errors, which occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, can make a coin incredibly rare and ultimately, much more valuable. Coins with minting errors are highly sought after because they are not something you'll find in the everyday circulation of currency. So, what kind of errors should you be looking for on the 1986 quarter dollar? Let's start with the off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not properly aligned with the die during the minting process. As a result, part of the design is cut off, or the coin has an irregular shape. These coins are incredibly unique and often command high prices because of their one-of-a-kind appearance. If you happen to come across a 1986 quarter with an off-center strike, you're looking at a rare piece that's sure to be valuable. Another type of error to keep an eye out for is the double strike. A double strike happens when a coin is struck by the minting press more than once, resulting in an overlapping or duplicated design. These kinds of coins are highly collectible because the mistake creates an interesting visual effect. For the 1986 quarter, a double strike is something collectors would jump at the chance to own, and they can fetch a much higher value than a standard coin, but the rarity doesn't stop there. Another common minting error found on the 1986 quarter dollar is the inclusion of foreign planchets. Planchets are the metal discs used to mint coins, and sometimes coins are struck on wrong or foreign planchets. A 1986 quarter struck on a planchet from a different country or a different type of metal can be worth substantially more. This kind of error is highly prized by collectors because it's incredibly rare and typically signifies a mistake in the minting process that makes the coin much more unique. There's also the possibility of die cracks, which occur when the metal die used to stamp the designs onto the coins begins to wear out or crack. These cracks can leave noticeable marks or impressions on the coins, and they are another sought-after error among collectors. A die crack on the 1986 quarter could make the coin more valuable, particularly if the crack is prominent and creates a distinctive pattern on the coin. Let's talk about the condition of the coin, as it plays a critical role in its value. Coins from 1986, just like any other coin, come in different grades. Most of the coins produced that year were heavily circulated, meaning they saw a lot of use in daily transactions, which left them with scratches, dings, and overall wear. However, if you happen to have an uncirculated 1986 quarter in pristine condition, you could be holding onto a gem. An uncirculated coin is one that has never been used in circulation, meaning it looks almost as fresh as the day it was minted. Coins that are graded at MS65 or higher, meaning they are in near perfect or perfect condition, can easily be worth much more than their face value. The better the condition, the higher the price. Now that we've covered some of the most common minting errors and how condition plays a role in determining the value of your 1986 quarter, let's talk about how much this coin could actually be worth in today's market. If you're lucky enough to have a 1986 quarter dollar that features one of these rare minting errors, or if it's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a significant return on your investment. It's not unheard of for error coins from this year to sell for thousands of dollars at auction. But here's where it gets really exciting. Some 1986 quarter dollars have been known to sell for an astounding amount of money. Depending on the rarity of the coin, its condition, and the specific errors it has, the value of these quarters can range dramatically. For the rarest and most pristine examples, especially those with major minting errors, collectors have been willing to pay incredible amounts. In fact, there have been reports of certain 1986 quarter dollar coins selling for as much as $73,000. That's right, $73,000 for a single 1986 quarter dollar. Who could have imagined that a simple quarter from the 1980s, which was once a common sight in every pocket and purse, could be worth such a staggering sum? But as we've learned, it's not just about the coin's age or what it was meant to represent, it's about the uniqueness, the rarity, and the condition that truly determines its value. So, next time you're sorting through your spare change or going through your coin collection, take a moment to examine your 1986 quarters closely. You never know, you could be holding onto a rare treasure. Top 2 1990. This seemingly ordinary coin, often overlooked, holds a surprising level of rarity and value if you know what to look for. The 1990 quarter dollar is one of those coins that's often seen as a regular piece of currency in the US, but there are hidden gems within the mintage of this year that could make you a lot of money. While most of the quarters produced that year were mass-produced and widely circulated, there are certain key factors that make some of them incredibly valuable to collectors. Stick with us as we explore the rich history, unique features, and the rare errors that elevate the value of this coin. Now, before we dive deeper, let's talk about the basics. The 1990 quarter dollar is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The coin features the iconic portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, on the obverse side, while the reverse side showcases a bald eagle, which has been the symbol of freedom and strength for the nation. The design was first created by artist John Flanagan and has remained largely unchanged, though the details may vary slightly depending on the year and mint. The 1990 quarter dollar was minted in large numbers, with most coins from that year entering circulation for everyday transactions. However, the real value of a coin like this doesn't necessarily come from the mass production or how many were made. It comes down to its rarity and condition. And when we're talking about rare coins, it's not just the overall rarity that matters. Certain mistakes or errors during the minting process can make a coin incredibly valuable, even if it's just one small detail point. One of the key factors that makes certain 1990 quarter dollars stand out is the possibility of minting errors. Mint errors are rare flaws that occur during the manufacturing of coins, and they can significantly increase the value of a coin. These errors can range from small, subtle imperfections to more obvious mistakes that make a coin one of a kind. And for collectors, error coins are often the most prized possessions because they're so rare and unique. For instance, some 1990 quarters were struck with off-center designs. An off-center error happens when the coin is not properly aligned with the die during the minting process, causing the design to be misaligned. This can lead to some interesting, irregular shapes and designs, making the coin stand out from the rest. A quarter with this type of error can be worth significantly more than a regular, non-error version, sometimes thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the misalignment. Another type of error that can be found on the 1990 quarter dollar is double strikes. Double strikes occur when a coin is struck more than once by the press during the minting process, creating overlapping or duplicated designs. If you're lucky enough to find a 1990 quarter with a double strike, it could be worth a small fortune. Collectors go wild for these kinds of errors because they're not just rare, they're also visually striking and make the coin even more unique. Additionally, some 1990 quarters were struck with incorrect planchets. These are the blank pieces of metal used to create coins. In some cases, quarters were mistakenly struck on a dime-sized planchet, causing them to be smaller than usual. These mistruck coins can be incredibly valuable, as they are essentially a mistake in the minting process. A 1990 quarter struck on a planchet that's too small could fetch a significantly higher price than a standard quarter, making it highly sought after by collectors. And now, beyond the minting errors, the overall condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its value. While many of the 1990 quarters may have been used in circulation and show signs of wear and tear, collectors are always on the lookout for coins in near-perfect condition, those that have been kept in pristine, uncirculated state. The value of a 1990 quarter dollar can increase dramatically if it is well preserved, free from scratches, dents, or discoloration. Coins that are graded as MS65 or higher, meaning they have minimal wear and are in near-perfect condition, can command much higher prices in the market. So, how do you tell if your 1990 quarter dollar is one of these rare and valuable finds? Well, it's all about paying attention to the details. Look closely at the coin's design for any signs of misalignment, doubling, or unusual features. Check the edges for any imperfections or signs that the coin may have been struck incorrectly. If you find a coin that appears to have a unique feature or error, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a coin expert or numismatist. They can help confirm whether your coin has any errors that could elevate its value. Now, let's talk numbers. If you've got a pristine 1990 quarter, or better yet, one with an error like a double strike or off-center design, you could be holding onto a valuable piece of history. But just how much are these coins worth? Believe it or not, some of these rare 1990 quarters have been known to sell for significant amounts at auction, with certain specimens fetching prices that will make any collector's jaw drop. So, how much could one of these coins actually be worth? Well, if you happen to own a 1990 quarter that's in uncirculated condition or one with a rare error, you could be looking at a value of $76,000, that's right, $76,000 for a single 1990 quarter dollar. Now, that's not a price you see every day for a coin that was once part of regular circulation. But as we've seen, the value of rare coins isn't determined by their face value or how many were made. It's all about rarity, condition, and any unique features that make a particular coin stand out. And when you combine these factors, it's easy to see why the 1990 quarter dollar has earned its place as one of the most exciting coins in the world of numismatics. So, if you've been collecting coins or just have a jar of loose change lying around, it might be time to start taking a closer look at your quarters. You never know, your 1990 quarter could be worth a lot more than you think. Keep an eye out for any errors, minting mistakes, or coins in exceptional condition, and you could be holding onto a valuable treasure. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the United States 1990 quarter dollar and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any future coin discoveries. Happy collecting, and who knows, maybe you've just found your next treasure.